What's the time, Toto, Wolff?
It's 4, I think.
Thank you.
I do often get people talk to me while I'm trying to do my thing in the toilet. So
No, we don't want that.
it's a little bit off-putting sometimes, but the stage fright has disappeared and I just power through, come what may.
We made a joke and we stole his credit card. And
Stole Ollie's credit card?
No. The trainer.
No, the
Ollie's
physio.
trainers.
Fine, right. Okay. That's almost worse, but fine.
And then we went on the internet and we started buying random stuff with this card. And
Hello, welcome to the Fast and the Curious Gold. This is a celebration of some of our favourite moments over the last 3 seasons. I am Betty Glover. This is Christian Hugel. And Christian, who are we talking about today?
You're about to enjoy some George Russell, who's been on the podcast throughout our time. He's always dropped in. Tends to drop in once a season, does George? And we always really enjoy talking to him.
Consistent, Georges.
Consistency.
On the track and on the podcast.
On the track, I think he's ready to fight for a world title. I hope he gets that opportunity in 2026. He did nothing to harm his reputation in 2025, only enhance. We've got Toto Wolff, who we've only had on a couple of times, but we've loved. So you say this a lot. You just find him, and I'm the same, like one of the most fascinating men in sport. He has this aura, doesn't he?
So incredibly fascinating. He's got the aura, like you say. He's got the sort of Pep Guardiola effect in the way that he is sort of when he stands there, when he walks through a crowd, everyone sort of parts for him like he's Jesus. But he's so good, and he's got such a good way of talking to people and getting the most out of people. And he's also put up with a lot of shit from us when he's come on this podcast, like, what's the time, Toto Wolff?
Yeah. And Kimi Antonelli as well, who started great, struggled a little bit this year in the middle, and then rallied again at the end, which is brilliant. As he grows into Formula One, remember, he's so young and so few. Well, I don't think anyone really, because even Max, when he came in super young, he was in a Toro Rosso at the time, an RB equivalent. So it's a unique test to be thrown in this young at a team this high up the field. So I'm excited to see Kimi grow into that role more next season. And do you know what I'd like, Betty? I think it would be good for the sport to see. Like, I've got no preference on who wins the Constructors' Championship, but I want it to be a close fight. And I think Mercedes joining your Red Bulls and your McLarens of this world, like, it would be good for the sport. So I'm really hoping this era of F1, 2022 to 2025, the ground effect era, they never got the hang of it. It was a disastrous era for Mercedes. They're in this sport to fight for championships. But the 2026 cars are a little bit closer. Ground effect's gone. They're closer, and we'll dig into this more on the podcast next year, but they're closer to the cars that Mercedes had success with in times gone by. I really hope we see this team fighting for world championships. It would be very good for the sport.
And let's be honest, they've got the drivers to do it. They have got 2 brilliant drivers, and they're being led by brilliant team principals. So here's the best bits from the Mercedes gang.
Okay, so we're in the pit lane, joined by the one and only Toto Wolff, the team principal of Mercedes. Toto, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you. And you?
Yeah, great, thank you.
That's good.
So I'm Betty, this is Christian.
Hello.
And this is Greg.
Hello there. Welcome to The Fast and the Curious. Do you like the name?
I like it very much.
Because,
are you the fast or the curious?
Well,
What do you think, Toto?
You look fast.
Oh, thanks very much. Maybe I'm fast and curious. No, they are fast. Your drivers are fast, and we are the curious ones. So it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Your role is so interesting, though, right, as team principal, because you've got to deal with all of these people and different personalities, keep them together so that you can win world championships.
Yeah, but it's not only these 2. We are in an organization with 1,000 people on the chassis and the same amount on the engine side. They are all very special people. For me, it's 2,000 superstars, not just 2. And what we try to do in the organization, all of us, is really to extract the best possible behaviors and values, but also, of course, performance of each and every one. And we want people that have this extra motivation and drive, and that brings with it that you're not always very, that you're more complex. Because what makes you do this extra effort, and that can be, hard upbringing, humiliation, trauma. But I'm not saying that everybody had these problems. I know very successful people in their own way that haven't had that. And the children, they had a wonderful upbringing, but still complex. I like the complexity of the people.
But I've been fortunate enough to be interviewing Formula One drivers for a few years, and it's struck me that whenever I've interviewed people like George, like Lando, who are kids in their early 20s effectively, you don't feel like you're talking to someone who is in their early 20s. When I'm a touch older than them, I don't feel like I'm talking to someone younger. And you mentioned it when we were chatting before the interview, that karting is a pressure cooker. Formula One drivers have been in karting since the age of 6, 7, 8. I suppose it must age them, motorsport, quite quickly to deal with this huge pressure that's placed on them from day one, and you must have to work with them on that.
I think that any very competitive sport does that. Children mature and grow up much faster from a certain point, because obviously you lack maybe other social interactions that you would have if you're just a regular kid in school. But I've had the same feeling. When I sit down with George, for example, it doesn't seem to me that he's in his early 20s. I have a discussion with him eye to eye. I can learn, and I'm interested to learn. And the same with some of the other drivers that I was lucky to meet. It's very interesting. They also talk much more grown up.
They really
They
do.
do.
That's why they're not fun.
I still think they're a little
I
bit
think
fun.
it must be fun. There's something in them. There's maybe a screw loose, maybe. But
Ours are more fun than the other ones.
Yeah.
But on that, so there's a weird conflict then, because you know the dangers of the sport and you know what it does to certain people's brains and their lives, but you love it so much, clearly. What keeps bringing you back to the sport? What is it that you still love about it?
It's so brutally honest that the stopwatch never lies. You can make up stories in politics, or you can create a narrative around any other business, why you have done well or why you haven't. Here, it's almost obsolete to even do a press conference, because the stopwatch is going to tell you whether you've been good enough or not.
Is it that simple? Is that how you look at it?
Well, yes, that's how simple it is. That's how I look at it. And obviously from my side, there is also the business component. It's the interaction between sports and the honesty of the sport. And then on the other side, the business itself. We are an organization that does around more than 500 million pounds in revenue. So that's not small. Deploying 2 cars and going around the world. So that makes it very exciting.
The way this podcast is going to work is Greg is almost our team principal, right? So Greg is sort of you, and me and Betty are almost kind of like Lewis and George. What advice would you give to Greg as the team principal, sort of managing us going forward?
And we're tricky.
do
Got all sorts of
Are
issues.
they tricky?
you think they're fun? More fun than your drivers?
About the same.
Toto, I'll tell you, we
all day
are
long.
very fun
Yeah.
people.
What are the tips? How do you make it as a team
Embrace
principal?
the complexity. All the good people are a little bit difficult, and try to understand what drives them.
Yeah. What does drive them?
Management advice from Toto Wolff.
Well, I know what drives you, Christian.
Literally Formula One. I have
Formula
very
One,
little
yeah.
personality outside being a Formula One fan. It's
But that's good. Like you're like me. We are one-trick ponies.
yes, exactly.
You just
Yeah.
be good at the single thing that interests you and try to be the best.
And I'm good at almost nothing else, really. Honestly, a terrible sportsman, very clumsy.
Welcome to my world.
Oh, it's lovely to be here, Toto. It really is.
Give me a ball, and whether on the feet or in the hand, and you will see the worst that you can possibly imagine.
Well,
I'm
Pep
the same.
Guardiola can help you with that. He'll teach you how to kick a football.
I don't think anybody can teach me how to kick a football.
Do you get a break as team principal?
I have breaks all the time because I love what I do. I enjoy what I'm doing. I even enjoy talking to you today.
Even.
Told you we're fun.
No, I'm not a native, so you don't even take every word how it's being said. Sometimes you have to decompress, but I like it. I've been on the road the last 3 days between Phoenix, Los Angeles, New York, and then arrived back in the night here, 4 hours sleep, and I enjoy it. It's not that I see it as big work. So been skiing a bit.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Are you a
so
good skier?
I think, but every time when somebody shoots a little photo or video, I'm being brought back down to earth. That it actually doesn't look that good as it feels. But yeah, I ski a lot.
Interesting.
There's one more thing, Toto. When we were brainstorming ideas for the podcast,
Oh, God.
one of the features we came up with was going to be called What's the Time, Toto Wolff? Do you like that as a feature name?
Do you get what he means? But
No.
No,
What
right.
does it mean?
Okay.
Okay, well, can I just ask the question then? What's the time, Toto Wolff?
It's 4, I think.
Thank you.
Are we going to explain this to poor Toto now?
Yeah, there's what is it, a school thing?
It's like a nursery rhyme.
nursery
so-
rhyme. What's the time, Mr. Wolff?
Okay.
And then the wolf turns around and goes, "It's dinner time," and then chases the kids.
It's a very famous thing.
Okay.
It's a bit of a
in the UK.
British nursery rhyme game. They play it at schools, and somebody gets to play the wolf, and it's like, "What's the time, Mr. Wolf?" And when Greg gets up early in
I
the morning,
find it very funny.
We're wasting your time now.
No,
Please.
I need to look it up tonight.
Yeah.
when Greg had been awake for quite a long time, and we were coming up with ideas, and that was the point where we're getting a bit delirious and tired. We need to stop now, but.
In fact, it was one of the potential names of the podcast. We were coming up with a name. We were thinking, I don't know, what can we call it? What's the time, Toto Wolff? Luckily, we finished on The Fast and the Curious. So.
Well, they're both not great names, but you choose at least one.
George, moving away from tennis and back to Formula One, which is, I know, a radical thing to do, but on our last episode, we had a certain Oscar Piastri.
Okay.
Now, we also told Oscar that you were on our next episode, and we didn't prepare George for this, but Oscar said there is something interesting about the way you two first met. Do you know what he means? You're smiling, suggesting you do.
I mean, I don't really know how much he gave away of the previous.
Will you give away as much as you're comfortable giving away?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was. I mean, this is the second time this has happened to me, so it's seems to be following me. The first time was with Ross Brawn, and this story may have been heard or not. I've told it a few times, but yeah, the first time I met Oscar Piastri was in 2020, I believe it was, and we were both on the direct flight from London to Perth. I was on the way to the Australian Grand Prix. He was on the way also to the Grand Prix as, I guess, a junior driver at the time. And we just bumped into each other in the toilets when we landed in Perth. And I recognized it was because there was a specific place to wait if you were on the Perth flight, because it was the same aeroplane from London to Perth as it was Perth to Melbourne. But all the passengers, for security reasons, you have to jump off the plane, wait in a dedicated zone, and then jump back on the plane an hour or two afterwards. They're refueled. So we just bumped into each other in the toilet. I think I said, "You're Oscar Piastri, right?" He's like, "Yeah, nice to meet you." Had a bit of a chat.
Were you both going for a wee next to each other?
Yeah, it was. I don't think it was lined up directly alongside one another, but I think we ended up like washing our hands next to each other at the same. So yeah, he's a nice guy, and yeah, it's funny how these things happen sometimes.
And Ross Brawn is one of the former big bosses of Formula One, and also former big boss of Ferrari, and former big boss of Brawn GP that Jenson Button won the championship with. And you met him in the Luge as well.
Yeah, I mean, the first time I ever met Ross as well was not that I had the courage to introduce myself as an 11-year-old boy, but the first time I was sort of starstruck was at the Autosport Awards, November, December 2009, obviously the year that Ross had won the championship with Brawn GP. And yeah, was at the urinals together. Yeah, it's maybe another 10 years down the line, I'll bump into somebody else at the toilet.
This is your thing, George, that you just managed to just meet everyone in toilets. I love it.
Well,
Great location.
I mean, it happens often now, let's say, after being a Formula One driver and semi well known, I do often get people talk to me while I'm trying to do my thing in the toilet. So
No, we don't want that.
it's a little bit off-putting sometimes, but the stage fright has disappeared, and I just power through, come what may.
I'll say it on behalf of you, George, because George is such a nice, polite man. If you are a George Russell fan, but you see him in the loos, just leave him alone. Okay, just wait until he's outside at the very least. He'll say hello outside, I'm sure.
I've actually been asked for a photograph inside the bathroom.
No.
Yeah, I've had to ask them to direct the camera away from the urinal because that's just obviously not a very nice background. But yeah, it happens.
Imagine having the balls to go up to someone who is going for a wee and saying, "Can I have a selfie?" That's ridiculous.
Unfortunate turn of phrase with having the balls, but fine.
Yeah, there was a very polite gentleman yesterday who saw me training, so I was doing some intervals running up a set of stairs. It was a relatively quiet place, and we were doing 14 reps of running all the way to the top of the stairs, which is about 30 seconds long. Walking down, which took, I don't know, a minute or so. And he, on about my third rep, he recognized me. He stopped. And as I walked down, I didn't really make eye contact, but I could sort of sense he wanted to stop, say hello, or ask for a photograph. And it was about 4 or 5 reps afterwards, he sort of interrupted to say, "Hi, George, I don't want to bother you during your workout, but how many more reps are you doing?" I had to have a chat. So he waited, and it was another 20 odd minutes until I'd finished my workout. So that was another victory, but that was also quite nice.
That's nice. That's better. Okay, lovely.
Shall we move on from talking about the weird places that you meet people, George, and talk through some of our listener questions? So we get loads of listeners messaging in all sorts of questions, and quite a few have got questions specifically for you, haven't they, Christian?
Yeah, we put out a calling for George Russell questions, and there were loads. So forgive us if we haven't got to your question, but God, there has been so many. The first one is from Zoe. I like this question. Please ask George what happened with Formula One's opening theme song titles. Did he pre-plan his epic pose? Did it just come to him in the moment? Or did F1 ask him? I must know what happened here. Like, did he think about it for weeks beforehand or what? So for those that don't know, F1 has its opening titles every race. It features all the drivers. And George, what are you doing in this year's opening titles?
Well, I mean, I think you need to see it to get a bit of context. But I think I've mentioned this once before in a previous interview. To give some context on these days, we would go to a studio and would be inside a studio for about 2 hours doing all sorts of different poses, look down, look up, cross your arms, hands on hips, 3 quarters one way, 3 quarters another way, look away from the camera, then look into, doing all sorts of things. And we were in a really cool studio in London, and they had all of these LED boards all around the studio where we were filming. And there was a section that sort of funneled down quite narrow towards the end. So after doing a couple of my poses, the standard stuff, arms crossed, hands on hips, the videographer needed 30 seconds to reset. And it was quite late. It was this shoot. I'd been on a shoot, started at 7:30 in the morning, and it finished at 6. And then I went to the F1 shoot that started 6:30 and finished at 11 p.m. So it was, I had a full day of filming. And this time it was at 10 p.m. at night. I was pretty tired. So I actually just put my hands on either side of the LED boards to sort of rest and just chill out, just hung my head down. I was a bit tired, been a long day. And then the guy was like, yeah, I like that. Do that again. Do that.
I didn't know this.
So I did this just 2 or 3 times. I was literally just resting there, looking down. The camera came in. I looked up and I was like, yeah, we like this. So it wasn't pre-planned. It wasn't even a pose. It was just me taking a breather from, I guess 12 hours of more, to be honest. Yeah, 14 hours of filming.
And that's what they used.
And that's what we used.
And are you happy they've used it? Because it's got a lot of attention.
Yeah, I mean, mixed feelings. I think that it's kind of also a bit of a lesson that sometimes in life, the best things come from not even trying. We were there for 2 hours filming, doing all these kind of things that people wanted me to do, and then totally unexpectedly got the shots from not even trying to do anything, actually just from taking a rest. So I think sometimes the more you chase something, the harder it potentially is to achieve. So yeah, just chill out sometime and take a breather.
That's a nice deep quote there, George. That's a life lesson for us all.
Life lessons with George Russell.
Hello and welcome back to The Fast and the Curious with me, Betty Glover.
Me, resident expert on Formula One, and as it's written in front of me here, Paddock Princess, Audible Sigh, Christian Hugill.
And me, team principal Greg James. But actually, not just me. Who else is here?
George Russell, hello.
Hey! Hi, George.
How are we doing?
Very good.
Whereabouts are you, George, exactly?
You have a guess. I'm at the racetrack.
I know where you are.
Go on.
This is where we thought Bradley Lord was going to be last episode. I think you're in Toto Wolff's office.
I'm in Toto's chair right now.
Are you?
I mean, I don't know if I can put my feet up here or not. But
There's a natural swagger to you anyway, George. But there's an even bigger swagger when you're in that chair. There's something about the Toto chair that gives. You feel it, don't you? You can feel it. You're rocking.
Yeah. I don't have a chair like this at home. I'm just quite enjoying, being in. You feel like the boss in this chair. It's so incredible how much a boss chair does to your aura.
Give us a 12, full 360.
Full 12. I don't know if I'm going to make it. I've made it.
Do you feel powerful in the chair? I feel like you should.
Super powerful.
You should have like a white cat, and you should be like stroking it.
Well, I've got a globe here in the background. That's all I've got right now, but I'm liking it.
It is quite evil supervillain to have a globe, isn't it? It's like Toto just going, "Where shall we conquer today?"
I don't know why we've got an Oscars award here as well. I don't know what this is.
What's it say on it? What's the award? What does it say?
But it says original screenplay. I think it's a bit of an internal joke.
Interesting.
Tell us about Eau Rouge. I want the POV of what it's like for someone in a Formula One car going around that famous part of that circuit. Something that most of us in the world won't get to do. Take us there, please.
I was actually talking to Brad Pitt about this morning because I think he's about to do some laps.
What?
What a name drop that is.
Hang on. This is already the best interview. You've been twirling on Toto's chair and you've dropped Brad Pitt. Okay, what did you say to Brad Pitt about Eau Rouge then?
Well, first I said you'll enjoy it, but then I said it's like a roller coaster. You go through the first bit and the car compresses down and you feel your ass scraping on the floor.
Do you?
And then as you go up through Eau Rouge, suddenly you feel lifted. Like you're on, what's the flying carpet? What's the
Aladdin,
sorry. You feel like Aladdin a little bit as you go through Eau Rouge and the car lifts up and you're floating through. And then you grip and you go on. All in the space of about a second. So it's pretty cool.
Oh.
Wow. What's Brad Pitt like? Is he nice?
He is. He's a massive F1 fan. Like he's following everything, and obviously there's a lot going on with the new movie, so that's super exciting. But it feels like he really wants to be here and be doing it. I think he's really enjoying the driving side, but I'm sure it's probably more fun than other movies maybe that he's done in the past. I mean, who doesn't want to drive race cars around racetracks?
Yeah. Well, just on that, he was present at the last 2 British Grand Prix because they were filming for the F1 films. We've seen a trailer for it. So quite odd that he was in the driver lineup on the grid. What well, you must have been aware that they were doing that, obviously, but looking down the line and seeing all your, all the regulars and then going, what the that's Brad Pitt at the end next to Max Verstappen. That's quite a mad thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a little bit surreal, but to be honest, when you're sort of in the zone, I wasn't even thinking or looking at it. You've got all your emotions going on, and I mean, to be fair, all of the drivers have met him a few times now. They've shown us clips of the movie. He's just a normal guy, even though he's not a normal guy. He's Brad Pitt. He's just like, he's a nice guy, funny guy, and I think once you've passed that, kind of speechless moment of, well, that's Brad Pitt, then you realise, it's just a normal bloke.
Yeah. I wonder if he can drive. Have you seen him drive? Is he good?
I think he's all right. I don't want to be saying things that I shouldn't be saying here, so I already feel like I've probably said a little bit too much. But he's doing a lot more than I think he's put a lot more practice in than let's say was necessarily required, because he really wants to do a great job and make it as authentic as possible. So for us, that's really nice to hear, because you could imagine maybe different actors. I think we're all divas. F1 drivers are divas. I'm sure actors and actresses are divas in their own way. And you could probably imagine in some other movies, it's like arrive as late as possible, leave as soon as possible, in and out, and just do the bare minimum that is, contractually required. But to hear that, someone of his caliber wants to do more and is really enjoying the process, it reminds us of actually how special it is what we do.
I want to talk a bit about your off-track activities, and I'm talking about the Grand Prix Drivers Association. You run that now, George, and we were talking about this with Bradley, and it's a real mark of where you are as a driver, but also as a person, that you want to help the next generation, the generation after that, and you want the sport to continue thriving. And I think it's a really honourable thing that you're doing there. Do you enjoy that side of the sport and getting more involved in that?
Yeah, to be honest, I do, because I think it's important the drivers have a voice, and we often talk between the 20 of us, but at the end it's got to be somebody who goes forward to share that view with whoever it may be. So yeah, I kind of got elected to be that person, and I've probably, because I always have one of the strongest voices in the past, or cared the most. But also I want the sport to be in the best place possible. I want to have the best racing, the best cars, the best tracks, improved safety where it's required. And if it's good for the sport, it's good for everyone. So it's something I've enjoyed.
I'm glad that you used the term elected, because
it wasn't an election as such. It wasn't quite Trump Biden, but
yeah. But it brings me on nicely to a bit that has been signed off by Bradley Lord, one of your overlords, all of our overlords, really. To talk about this next thing. Now, I'm going to wash my hands of this. This is very much a Christian and Betty thing.
Oh, God.
But I'd like you, Christian, to introduce George to something that you created on his behalf. And I want to run this past you, George. If you give this a seal of approval, it keeps going. If not, you are within your rights to shut this down.
Kill it. Well, me and Betty were thinking we needed a way on the podcast of sort of running through the bits of paddock news. And one of us said, oh, it's like a paddock notice board. And I was like, yes, like a community notice board, like you see in a village. And one of us said, well, someone would need to run that. Who would it be? And I was like, George is chair of the Grand Prix Drivers Association. George is responsible. There's certain drivers you wouldn't want anywhere near it. I'm not going to name any names. Oh, I am Alex Albon, for example. You wouldn't give him a position of responsibility. The man's chaos.
He can't even spell.
He can't even spell. Exactly. So it's like a few years ago, it might have been Seb Vettel. He was like the position of responsibility. So we created And every time we run through bits and bobs of news on the podcast, it's like, right, let's check the George Russell community notice board. Response to this? It's said with love. Are you okay with this?
I'm happy to. I have an honour to have the notice board named after me. Mm-hmm. I'll run it with pride.
I think that one of your team might have a picture of the community notice board.
Yeah, I've got it in the background here.
Oh, where is it?
Let me have a look. Oh, okay. The George Russell community notice board. Driver required. Must like George Russell. Pets allowed. Please apply to Toto at markf1.com. Isn't his real email address, but okay. Genuine applications only. Lando was here.
Yeah, he's graffitied it.
Piano lessons. Cool Charles. 016 555. I like it.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I'm intrigued to know what else would be on the community notice board.
Well, I guess as you're in the paddock now, is there anything you'd like to add to the notice board? What have you seen today that we could add on there? Any breaking news from Spa?
I heard, Alpine are looking for a driver, so I don't know if that's big breaking news, but that could go on the notice board.
We'd have to take Haas's vacancy off the notice board. They've filled that with Esteban.
Yeah, Haas's vacancy off the notice board.
We'll put Brad Pitt on the notice board.
Yeah, just throw Brad on there.
Stick him on.
Why not?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of things to say that wouldn't be too controversial, to be honest. So,
well, we wouldn't mind a controversial one.
I know you wouldn't mind the controversial things. I already feel like I've said one too many things already so far that I just feel when I talk with you guys and people in general, I just have this trust and I just open up and then I get told off afterwards for...
You can trust us.
Slipping things out,
You can trust us. Bradley Lord trusts us. If we're friends of Bradley's, we're friends of yours. He's a very trustworthy... If you can't trust Bradley Lord, who can you trust?
Yes, absolutely.
And we're not friends with everyone, George.
Oh, are you not? All right, there's something you just filled with me. Who aren't you friends with?
Can't get Ferrari on, George. Can't get Charles and Carlos on. They've not come on yet.
That's not good, is it?
They don't reply to producer Jimmy's emails, so...
No. Oh, that's harsh.
Isn't it?
If they don't want it, don't even ask for it.
Okay.
Maybe if you stop sending the emails out, maybe they'll email you guys. Play hard to get.
Yeah, good. That's a good play that from you, George. I think that might be the thing to do. Yeah, or just put on message for Charles, call Greg back. Or something like that. You just pop it on the notice board.
Yeah, but I think that's still a little bit too needy.
Okay, call Greg back if you want.
I think just dead silence, just like nothing. I think you need to do things to plant in front of the Ferrari guys of the stuff you've been doing so far with the other teams and drivers, and they'll be like, "Why aren't we on there?"
Yeah, and
they'll be getting a bit of FOMO.
Or maybe just tell them how much fun you've had.
I could do that. I really could do that.
That'd be lovely.
All right, I'll spread the word.
Just really quickly before you go, you started with a name drop. Can we give you the opportunity to end with a name drop? Betty, you saw George with a proper celeb, right?
Yeah, big time celeb this. So obviously you were at the Euros final, weren't you? And you were sat there watching England lose in the final. And there next to you was Harry Styles. What was that like? What did you talk to him about?
Yeah, I had no idea I was going to be sat next to Harry. First time I met him, super cool guy.
Yeah.
It was, we all shared like a special moment when England scored. We're all jumping up, we're all hugging. And when I looked over, I forgot my girlfriend was sat next to me. I was like, oh, good, I need to console the loss a little bit there. But she obviously got the last laugh. But I was with Harry and James Corden. So, they're two super guys, and nice to watch a game with them.
Yeah, quite good people to be sad with, because they're quite, especially Corden. He's quite upbeat with stuff. I think it's not a bad person to watch.
Yeah, it was a super upbeat after the game, understandably.
Kimi Antonelli, welcome to the Fast and the Curious. It's lovely to have you here.
Thank you so much. Pleased to be here.
Kimi, I know that Toto Wolff is not in Japan, and Bradley Lord, who's been on the podcast a few times, Bradley's going to take a few of his responsibilities. Bradley says it's absolutely fine for you to tell us all the information you've learnt in the sim. He's very relaxed about that. So what have you learnt? How's the car feeling? Tell us everything.
Well, I've been driving in Suzuka because it's gonna be my first time driving it, and man, it's a freaking cool track. I mean, it's even a bit scary in the sim when you do the chicanes. So I cannot imagine the first lap in real life. With the feeling of speed and everything is gonna feel crazy. But man, oh my God. I was meant to go last year, but of course I got sick, so I couldn't go.
I can't remember in my time covering Formula One any other opportunity where someone's come in and people have everyone in the paddock's just been like, oh yeah, he'll be great. Like, this kid's really, really good. And that's obviously must be brilliant for you, but how do you deal with that? Like, the pressure of that? Because the Formula One world seemed to just decided, yeah, this guy's really special. I've just been fascinated to talk to you about that.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's a lot of hype around. Pressure's been building up for sure. But, I think when you got the right people around you, I got Mercedes. I've been growing with Mercedes, to be honest. I've been in the team since 2018. So since I was 11, a few days ago, I just saw a few pictures when I was in Monaco the first time with Toto. And, oh man, I looked very, very little back then, very tiny. Yeah, I mean, I think having a team, a good team around you. I have a good family that always guide me in the best way. But also, knowing everyone in the team really help you to not feel this pressure as much, because they're not gonna judge you. First of all, they're gonna be trying to help you in all the occasions. So that really makes the difference and really helps you to move forward and to improve. And then, as I said before, I mentioned also my family, because they've been really great supporters, and they've been helping me since I was very little to until this day to grow not only as a driver but also as a person. So a lot of credit to them as well.
You're new to F1, so I don't feel like I know as much about you sort of away from the track. So what are the things you could tell us about Kimi Antonelli, not the Formula One driver? What do you do in your spare time? Have you got any unusual hobbies? I'm not interested in Formula One for a minute. I mean, I always am. I'm an F1 geek. But what's Kimi like away from the track?
First of all, I still drive away from track. I either drive go-karts, drive on the simulator, or now I really got into this. The little RC cars, the scale 1/8 engine?
Yes.
Like
basically the little but fancy remote control cars,
yeah,
is what I'm saying. Yeah.
I actually drove for the first time yesterday, and
Ooh.
I absolutely loved it. My dad used to race with those back then, so he decided to bring me to track with those, and it was incredible. I mean, I loved it. It's really difficult to drive them, especially when they're coming on the opposite side, and obviously I was using the joystick, so I had to think it like in the opposite way, with the turning. So yesterday, the last day, in the last run, I was a bit tired because I did many laps, and then I think my dad called me over while I was driving it, and I remember I got distracted and I turned the opposite way. So I was meant to turn left and I turned right, and this car, like at 120 km an hour, went full into the grass and started flipping. And I completely destroyed it. And then,
Oh no!
yeah, so it was not bad to finish off that way for the first day, but it's something I really like doing. But yeah, otherwise I also try to spend time with friends. I have a good group of friends back in the town in Bologna, and then also trying to spend time with family because I don't get a lot of time with them.
Kimi, you're only 18. Do you still go to school?
Yeah, I have the last year of school.
Oh my God.
I have
So
final
you don't-
exams, so I'm trying at the moment to fit a date where I can do it, which is pretty difficult at the moment.
That's so hard.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting a lot of help from the school. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, they're sending me stuff over, but it's a big commitment. You know, to be honest, I I always say like, you know, I really want to do this, but when I think back, you know, it's important as well. And I've been doing, you know, so many years of school, and it would be a shame just to, you know, quit on the last year of school. And also my mom really cares about it, so I will do it for her as well.
Does it work with particular subjects, Kimi? Are you doing different subjects? You get to take different sheets? Like, I'm fascinated as to how it works, because let's be honest, you're not sat in a classroom, are you? Do they bring a classroom out with you? Do they bring a classroom and teacher? That'd be fantastic.
Well, I do online at the moment.
Yeah,
So
okay.
basically, because I go to a public school, so I can't really do, I can't really connect during the day because they don't really do that. But after each lesson, they send the material of what they've been, you know, teaching in class, and also my classmates help me as well. But you know, definitely it's tough, and especially this year it got a lot tougher. I couldn't keep up that much this year because obviously everything intensified massively. But yeah, I'm trying to finish it.
That must be so difficult. So I'm sort of imagining you doing the Japanese Grand Prix, finishing, and then being like, right, okay, off I go. Maths.
Oh my God,
GCSE,
yeah,
or whatever
that's
the
terrible
equivalent
though.
is.
It's a terrible feeling. I'm not gonna lie. You know, when because you know math. You know, you start off, you see numbers, and then you get to see just letters. You know, in math, and I'm like, oh my God, why am I doing this? But you know, it's something I have to do. But it's a really difficult subject. I'm not gonna lie.
I was terrible at it. I was
Yeah.
absolutely terrible at it, Kimi. The numbers just blur to me. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
My favorite subjects are English because I know it very well and I don't have to study it. And
Easy.
then I like AP.
What's that? PE.
PE, sorry. So I
Yeah.
confused. PE, of course, because
Yeah, you'd be. I can imagine you're natural.
yeah, and you know, you just play around, and that's it. These are my two favorite subjects.
Good subjects. Did Toto or George help you at all with your homework?
No. Well, you know, it's also we thought I don't really talk with Toto about. I mean, he knows it's important as well, but no, he didn't really. He never really helped me. But I never even asked him help for school.
I reckon George would be good at maths. I just
Yeah,
think
I
George
agree.
George just
I should
seems
ask
like the
him.
sort of
I should
guy.
ask
Yeah.
him. Okay.
Yeah, I think George would really help you. I also think George would make you do your homework
Okay.
as well.
Well, for the Japanese Grand Prix, if I find him on the plane, I'm gonna go over him and ask him to help me with math and see how we go on.
Do it, and then let us know how that goes.
Okay. Okay.
Taking you back to that first race of the season, even though the conditions were tricky in Australia and there'd been people crashing out on the formation lap, and you know, that was tricky, and Australia's a tricky track as well. The months of hype are over, the months of talk are over. You're about to race in your first F1 race. You're looking at the lights. You're behind the wheel of a Mercedes Formula One car. What's that like? Talk me through that moment.
So I'm telling you that was the moment I realized I was going to be racing in Formula One. Because you know, it's since last year, of course, we made the announcement in end of in Monza, and you know, during that period of time, I was just trying to process that, you know, I was actually going to be racing in Formula One. And then when I first got into the grid for formation lap, and then, you know, lights going out, and you know, that was the moment I was like, oh, this is like actually real. Is happening, and there was a lot of, you know, emotions going through that moment. A lot of butterflies in the stomach as well. But you know, once the light went off, I was just focusing on the race. But it was a pretty special moment because, you know, also going into the grid and seeing my dad there standing next to the track, you know, was a really special moment.
How did you feel when you're looking at the lights? Are you nervous because you've got the extra pressure of like the weather? Are you just plain excited? Is your heart beating? Like, How are you? I just can't imagine it. How are you feeling at that moment?
Well, I had everything, to be honest. Like, the heart, I don't even know how fast it was going, but pretty fast, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of emotion. I was a bit nervous as well because, conditions were tricky. Because also, I didn't really had the measure of the car, because yes, I've been doing testing, but the thing is, in testing I was driving alone, so it was actually the first real time I was driving around 19 other cars at the same time. So the thing I was afraid the most is, like, I didn't really had the measure, with the car, and I didn't really know how much I could push it while racing close wheel with other drivers. So that was the thing I was, and of course it was wet as well, so visibility was worse. But once I did the first few corners, I was actually feeling okay. Then I had the massive moment in T5, and that was when I had to change my underwear. Because for about a second I was facing the wall, and I was full lock opposite way.
God.
And I was like just hoping for the car to go back straight.
It was a great save. It was a
brilliant
excellent save.
Yeah, it didn't feel so nice in the car.
I can imagine. What was going through your head when you saved it and you thought, right, okay? What were you saying to yourself during that moment?
I think the thing is that it happened so fast that I kind of forgot immediately about it. Of course,
That's good.
I was like, oh my God, like, thank God we went back straight. But then straight away, I was trying just to go back into the rhythm, because it happened so fast. And, I was just so focused on trying to progress through the field that I kind of forgot immediately about the mistake. But in the moment, it felt really scary, like really, really scary.
It's not 100% confirmed, but we think we've got Ollie for his first appearance on The Fast and the Curious in a couple of weeks' time. Yeah, so you know him better than we do. What should we talk to him about? Is there a question you'd like to put to him that we can clip up and play to him? What should we be talking to Ollie Behrman about?
Or is there anything funny that you can tell us so we've got a little bit of intel on him that we can put to him when we talk to him?
You can ask him. So Spa last year, we made a joke to his physio, to his personal coach, trainer
Right.
coach. And we made a joke, and we stole his credit card. And
Stole Ollie's credit card?
No, the trainer.
No, the
Ollie's
physio.
trainers.
Fine, right. Okay.
So-
That's almost worse, but fine.
And then we went on the internet and we started buying random stuff with this card. And
Oh my God!
and
Poor
Ollie
trainer.
and Ollie, but then when we were buying it, I was like, "But do you know your trainer's address?" And he was like, "Yes, I know it." So then we shipped all the stuff we bought to his house, and we didn't tell him anything. So basically, he didn't even realize, the trainer, that we stole his credit card for like 2 hours. So we were just on the internet buying stuff.
Like, what were you buying?
We bought loads of stuff. I don't even remember because we bought loads of stuff.
Just like rubbish? or-
Rubbish.
I hope it wasn't too expensive. I hope like a family car didn't turn up outside.
No.
the house.
We were kind on that side. Like, we didn't
Okay,
go
good.
like full on. But I remember that was funny as well, because then I remember we were with this trainer, and he looked at his phone, and he was like, "Why is like stuff arriving to my house? I didn't buy this kind of stuff." And then
Excellent.
we actually told him that we stole his credit card and bought stuff and sent it over to his house. So it was really funny story. You should ask him as well.
So I see what this is. So you and Ollie are the two
Troublemakers.
the two troublemakers on the grid. are you?
Exactly.
And can I just, The Fast and the Curious and Kimi Antonelli would all like to point out that this behaviour is wrong, and credit cards should not be stolen. Isn't that right, Kimi?
Yeah, it's not right.
Ollie, we've got to let you go very shortly, but we should talk a little bit more about Formula One than we have. Obviously, you've got triple headers coming up. It's such a busy season. And we talked about the hype and all the stuff about, I'm replacing Lewis Hamilton, all like that, which I know it's not quite that simple. But looking at it a bit more bigger picture for the first season, like, what's a successful first season at Mercedes for you?
Well, I think, growing a lot as a driver, these 2 weekends have been massive in terms of learning, because so many new things to take into account, so many new scenarios to experience as well. So definitely, keep growing, keep being consistent. And I think, on my side, trying to maximize every result, every race weekends, because I think Melbourne was a good one. China was not as good, especially because qualifying, I feel like, I could have done a much better result. But, keep learning and keep improving and keep maximizing the result. That will be a successful season. And whether it's going to be, podiums or wins, we don't know that. But, the goal is always...
I think so.
The goal, of course, is always to go on track and win. But, the level is super high. But as I said before, I would be happy by knowing end of the season that I did the best I could and I maximized all the results and, of course, perform well.
Talked about winning there. We obviously know that Betty gave you your first win earlier, so that's something you've gained out of this interview. And I'm also reliably informed that I just called you Ollie, as we were just talking about Ollie Behrman.
I just realized.
Oh my God, we're bloody useless.
No, don't worry. Actually, I'm used to this because my mom always calls me with a different name.
What name?
Sometimes he calls me with my sister's name. Or,
oh yeah, classic. Mums always do that, don't they?
Or like,
lights went off. Maybe the lights have gone out behind you.
I don't know. It's okay.
Oh, they're back. He's back.
Oh, there it is.
Oh.
There we go. Kimi, we'd like to apologise for not being overly competent podcast presenters. We'd like to apologise for that.
Don't worry. And then, so she either calls me with my sister's name or sometimes with my old dog name. So.
Old dog name?
Yeah. So, I mean, I used to have a dog, but...
Right.
Is the dog no longer with us?
It's no longer with us since many years, so it's fine. Don't worry.
Oh, right. Okay, fine. So we're over it. Okay, fine.
My mum called me by her dog name,
Yeah.
her dog's name, the other day as well. I think it's just a mum thing, isn't it? You just like roll over your head.
Yeah.
Should we do a guest?
Let's do a guest.
I would like to do a guest, but only if it's George Russell.
Well, you are in luck, my friend, because beaming live from Italy is George Russell.
Hello.
Oh,
George!
Oh, look! It's Princess
How are you doing,
George!
guys? Oh, straight in there.
Well, it's only because Alex told us. I don't know what that means. Alex told us. What's your response to that?
But my response to Mr. Albon is, thanks, mate.
What does it mean, George? What's the reasoning behind it?
I don't know what the reason is, to be honest. It came from when we were both teammates in junior formulas, and I was quite pushy with my team with a few things. Like, I wanted things to be perfect, So I think they didn't like my either OCD-ness or my attention to details. I think they started calling me a bit of a princess, which I kind of took as a bit of a compliment, because that's just how I roll. But I guess it's that.
George, the reason we say this is because we obviously had Alex Albon on before you. We asked him what the first thing we should ask you is, and he said, well, firstly, call him Princess George and see what reaction he gets. We did. And then he also said that you basically stood him up in Monaco the other week, and it appeared you were on a yacht. I mean, fair enough. It sounds like you're having a lovely time, but what happened there?
Yeah. I've texted Alex on numerous occasions to make plans, and he just pies me off all the time, especially when his girlfriend Lily's around. He's one of those who wouldn't get back to you in weeks, and then the girlfriend leaves. He's like, hey mate, you fancy a coffee? I'm like, oh, now you want me. So I just presumed he wouldn't be around. So yeah, we was on the boat at the weekend. It may have been space for him, may not have been space for him. I don't know. I dropped my friends off after we got back to Monaco, and Alex was sort of just standing there at the entrance of his apartment, like, how's the
weekend on the yacht. And he said it. He said it with his shopping bags in his hands as well. He had just been to a supermarket. He was like, "Yeah, how was the weekend on the boat?" I was like, "Yeah, sorry, mate."
It feels like you are just so consistent all the time. You just sort of, you're managing to deliver and do what's expected.
If you look at my 2019 PowerPoint presentation,
Is that what was on it?
that was what was on it. That was what was on it.
Oh,
I think
what
so.
else was on it? What else was on it?
With your like confused face, you're like confusing me now of what was on the you know the Rocky thing me, Lando and Alex did like that
Yeah.
video. I think you're like nodding your head, but you have no idea what I'm on about, do you?
No, I do know what you're on about. So I think so. You went
think so?
viral.
That means you don't know this all. You're being played.
No, I do know, George. Actually, I do know because you went viral for doing a PowerPoint presentation to try and get yourself a seat on a team.
Yeah, you don't know what I'm talking about. That's not
Well,
what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. So at the end of
What are you talking about then?
At the end of 2019, we did like a bit of a take video, me, Alex, and Lando with F1, and we had to. I think we had to sort of like say why we were the best rookies of that season. It's on YouTube. Check it out.
Oh, I remember this, but no, I was with Betty. I was thinking you were thinking about the PowerPoint to join a team. No, I was with Betty on this. Yeah, okay, fine. But I'd forgotten about this.
In my presentation, because I finished like P19 in every single session that year because we weren't very quick at Williams, I said consistency is key. So fast forward 7 years, consistency is key. That was you guys. I thought you was an F1 podcast here. This is me.
Sorry, we haven't remembered the 7-year-old.
You've got the Mercedes hat there, like F1 fan, and you don't know even.
Oh no!
God. Check it out. Check it out.
I'd like to apologise, and I hereby resign my position on the podcast.
It'll all make sense after. Sorry, guys. I thought, wrong audience for that joke.
I wonder, do you give advice to Kimi Antonelli? Because obviously he's your new teammate and he's just 18 years old. You must be sort of giving him bits of your wisdom.
He's a cool cookie. He knows what he's doing. He's got such a good team around him, and obviously the team of Mercedes are really trying to mentor him and take care of him because obviously it was such a big risk for Toto as well. But Kimi's delivering the goods, and saw it in Miami, where he did a really great job. And I've always said it, if you've got the speed, you've got the speed. And, he doesn't need to be taught any of that. And you learn in your own journey as well, because everyone's different. What works for me may not work for someone else, and vice versa. So, I've always said to him, look, if he wants to ask me anything, I'm here.
Well, on that, George, we had Kimi on the podcast a few weeks back, and me and Betty were chatting before we spoke to Kimi. And Betty said, is he still at school? And we had a look and we couldn't see anything on it. And we asked Kimi, are you still doing your schoolwork? He said he was. And that went massive. You must have seen it. It was everywhere. And that was our fault. That was Betty Glover's fault in particular. We asked him about the school thing. And Kimi said to us, well, we asked, have you asked George for help with your homework? And he said, no, I will do though. I'm going to. Did Kimi at any point come to you for help with homework?
I mean, he has asked me for a bit of help with his maths, to be honest. Maths was my top subject, but the rest I was pretty rubbish. But I did remind him I left school when I was 13, so I'm probably not the right person to be asking.
Did you give him the right answers? Were you good?
Yeah, I was good with my 2 and 3 times table. 4s were a little bit challenging, and 5s that was an easy one. 10s, I'm pretty good with my 10 times table.
That's all easy. 10s is easy.
Sorry to ask a semi-serious question. When you say you left school at 13, did you have to do all the catch-up work when you were obviously racing? Or was it different that back then? Could you just get on with racing?
You're talking like I'm from the 90s.
As someone who is from the 90s, George, I resent that statement. That the 90s should have seen it. Yeah, but unfortunately, George, you got to face the facts. Kimi is an actual child, unfortunately, we've all got to face it. So
life is moving.
Life is moving.
We're just sat here, doing our thing. No, I did. Did I catch up on much, and did I do a good job of that? Maybe not so much. Racing. All the light of his camera is horrendous. Sorry for that. It's pretty woeful.
Oh, you look beautiful. Sorry.
I'm sad.
Good.
Toto's not here this weekend, so I've stolen his chair. So hopefully not watching.
Yeah.
Does he watch your podcast? Because he won't be happy if I'm
You
sad.
did this last time.
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah.
I feel like is this a theme, isn't it?
It's nice. We like it. It's very broken into the headmaster's office, or sort of trying to emulate the evil emperor.
Yeah, I mean,
in his big chair.
Toto's actually at his son's graduation this weekend, so his son has graduated. So Toto's in LA, so he can't come in and slap me on the wrist for sitting in his chair now. So he's a long way from home. So I'm gonna soak it up while I can.
Do you fancy being a team principal one day? I think you'd be really good at that.
Not for the time being, no.
Oh, no, I think I know you've got some racing still to do. I'm not trying to retire you off. But I mean, most people, unless you're Fernando Alonso, don't race into the 60s. So I was thinking, by then you might. I
might be. I might be still racing into my 60s. Who knows?
Yeah.
You will be.
I think you will be.
Yeah.
You're gonna be doing it when you're 80.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep on going.